Yo, it's Guido coming back at you with a tactics talk. Got a kind of a nifty little game here in my LT432. Oh, hold on, I always mess up. I never show you guys what the tanks are. I just have their names. There we go. And I am here on whatever this is called. I don't know the map names. You'd think I would. Mountain Pass. We're on Mountain Pass. And very channelized map. Look at that expert marksman. Oh, well, maybe RNG. I featured this game on my announcement for the LT432 contest, where I asked you to send in your best piece of advice, and I would collate those and come up with a little video, or maybe even an article, or maybe both. And it was just playing in the background, but I want to talk a little bit about it. Look at this deployment on this game right off the bat. This is what I want to talk about on this one, is deployment and reacting to exactly what's going on the map, vice going directly to critical points or to your spot, air quotes, right there, which is something that I, in the past, have done quite a lot, and I'm really attempting to change as much as possible. Now, that is still a valid tactic, so long as the enemy team and your team deploys as per normal, but obviously something very strange is afoot on this particular game. And we say that, hey, it's strange because it's not meta. Well, it's where people went, so play the map and the match accordingly. The Maus, the Type 4, a bunch of guys have gone along the ice road, and they're really piling hard down on the north route, and that's fairly unusual. The 100 LT has moved up, proving no one's really coming across the bridge so far, although I believe he's down on the bottom. Scorpion G is watching, and then we've got a bunch of lighter guys in a 357 on bottom tier here, hanging out at about D and E 3 and 4, kind of taking sniper shots, which is a fairly standard early move, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. So let's go on and see how this develops, because I've noticed this, and I'm thinking, well, I'm glad I didn't go down to J2, at least unsupported, bounce off of decent armor off the top of the Schwartz 58. One of the knocks against this tank is its pen is not great, and now I'm being bombed by artillery, who are both looking here. Very strange to me, actually. I was spotted a while ago, and take that shot, got spotted again. So they're both zoomed in right here, and this is a fairly standard early spot for them to try to target. I get my shot here, and then I'm going to eat another artillery shot. So I'm kind of trading one shot for artillery shots. That's not really the brightest move. Yep, there it is. I've probably done better to tuck up behind there, but gave up a bunch of hit points, so I decided, alright, that's not really the best thing. Let's hang out behind this rock. At least I can get some cover from the artillery. And I see the T100 LT going in. The Pantera and the Mod 1 have moved down to the south, but there's no way they're going to hold. I'm not even sure where that went. I think it just missed. Maybe hit the wall. And I decided to get out of there. I'm just tempting artillery to shoot me too much. And we both hit each other. That is the second time I've hit that poor guy full on the run. And it might not have been him earlier, but it was someone over there. So now, let's take a look at this. Go ahead and take a quick look at the mini-map. And I think you see what I see. There's a big scrum going on down in the south. The 110E3 happens to be on the ice road area over there. So that's one of the tier 10s. But the IS-7 was last seen, I believe, headed down towards the south. So I'm going to fall back, because there's nothing I can do by pushing into that big glob. Now, I can try to hold and snipe at him here, but I'll probably get spotted fairly early. It does afford me a decent route to get away, but this area up here, the ramp, is a better spot. Now I get some shots of opportunity on guys taking on the 100 LT. So he's doomed. He's going to have guys shooting from every direction. I'm just trying to get a few shots. Shots. Well, that's the word I was trying to use. On these guys as they afford me the opportunity. One more onto him, and now I'll just keep on trucking. I'm not going to get a reload. Plus, timing in my brain says about right then there should have been people coming around that corner in the south. However, what else is going on? Well, if you look at it, you can see that our hard push in the north did a pretty good job. Killed a few tanks going in there, but they're now threatening their cap. And the enemy red team, being relatively smart, sent a pretty good portion of their southern guys back to the cap, including the T-50, which is sort of crossing over. But he gets stopped by the Scorpion, starts messing with him, and the LT. And then I've got these shots here on the 432. So this spot will allow shots somewhat on that ramp, just that little section right there. but it also allows me to watch and try to stop her up anything that may be pushing to the cap from them. We're losing 3-4, and a push onto the cap is difficult, but it is a Mal's, and I think the Type 4 is still alive. That's correct. So they're making a go of it down there, and the Foch is with them. So all three of our tier 10s went that way. And I find the Patton, or not the Patton, but the Sheridan, some general. Somebody else shoots at me, so whether that was the Sheridan or somebody else, I suspect there's at least one other guy back there. But look at where the red dots are now. That big glob that was down pushing our south, they actually reacted really well and came back. This is when I noticed the Skoda has actually snuck around and is pushing in towards the cap. I have an LT 432 back with me. The Skoda is about to kill the artillery. I'm trying to get down there. I was really hoping the artillery would take a big chunk of hit points off of him and I could help him kill him, but then not unable. And so hanging out a little bit, I miss, and that's very unfortunate. What is very fortunate is that Skoda was apparently on a reload. Actually, that might have been one shot there. Looks like he's on a reload now, so I did avoid taking that hit. And now it is me and a 432. And this is really one of those games where it's just kind of pure reaction to what my team was doing. And right now, I am simply trying to give my team a chance to win that cap. That's really was our only chance based on how this thing went down. There goes my buddy. And there's that nice armor on the 432. This thing really is pretty silly on the armor. I'm able to bounce a couple shots off my turret in highly angled. I do not bounce that because I come forward just a little bit too much. And I eat 2 from him. He actually out-reloads me. Or it's fairly close. He shot first both cases, so he was probably going to get that next shot on me. I have a pretty good crew in there, but I'm not running food, so that may help me out. That's one of those positions where food or something like that may have really been good for me. Where you're just trying to out-duel somebody and you're firing at relatively the same time, based on the same tank and everything else. So now, I know there's one guy there. I'm trying to find, there we go. So I find his turret. And here comes the WT. So now I know there's 2. And he thinks, well, that's fine. We got 2. I'll come up and take this guy out. Another bounce. Able to do that. Back up just enough to where he can't quite get his gun on me, other than on my turret. And he just sort of drives around the corner, and I'm kind of hoping I can get the first shot. And there we go. And we win, so I just charged forward like a Muppet. I should have been much more clever and kind of popped over a little bit, see if I could find him. Maybe rely on the angles and the thickness of the turret there to bounce that shot, but I drive right in and give him a big hole shot, and he wipes me out. So that's fairly predictable. We end up winning on a cap. I'm able to hold him off just enough. So pretty good example there of bottom tier, light tank, having a pretty critical role in reacting to the fight and some defense of the cap. That doesn't mean you get on the cap and sit there up on this hill and go, ooh, Guido showed me that if you defend the cap in a light, you're good. That's not the point. The point is the situation developed itself such as I was really the only guy. And I talk about that quite a bit. When you play this game, act like you're the only guy that's going to do something. That can get you in trouble if you're constantly pushing and pressing. Be careful with that, because I have a problem with that myself. And that's not really what I mean. What I mean is the situation developed such that somebody had to get back there, and I was the closest one to do it. I had the tank to do it. I had the knowledge of the cap defense, this spot right here. It's a fairly obvious spot. It's not like I just showed you a secret spot. But I went to the best appropriate spot to do what I needed to do. And you're wrapping all those together, realizing the situation, not pressing and pushing and getting yourself killed simply because the enemy did a weird, or your team did a strange deployment in your mind. Reacting to all of that, and then playing it fairly decently up to the end. A couple places I traded, I didn't need to do so, but there you go. Ended up with a W. Making lemons out of lemonade. Or something like that. We will see it.